if you're really good at being yourself, then you're really not going to be in competition with anybody. You know, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about what their secret is or how they got ahead. Do the thing that you like doing. Be willing to put in the hard work and represent yourself to your customers as best you can.
Let's do it. All right, Facebook, we are live. Joe Hughes from ContractorDynamics.com and the Nailed It podcast. I am live here with Heath Hicks of AVCO Roofing, the catch-all, among others. What's going on, Heath?
And just working.
Yeah, hanging out in the car, hiding out from the team, or what?
No, everybody. We're kind of a skeleton crew, but the only people in there right now are the phone people. So they're talking loud on the phone because we're getting a lot of. Today's actually an exciting day. This is our record amount of leads for a single day that we've had phone into the office organic wise, and so they're in there running busy on the phones, and I get kind of loud when I'm doing this too. So I figured I'd come sit out here and not worry about talking over anybody.
All right, cool. Same here. I'm at the home office, locked in the office, trying to keep the family and the kids out. But let's start there. That's cool. So we're in the midst of this whole crazy world of uncertainty, and you guys are setting records for number of leads. How a lot of roofers are going to want to know, like, what's the secret there?
Let me clarify. On Friday, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it through the year. So not really, but I mean, I was down. Last week was a down week for me in a lot of ways, just trying to keep my head up and keep everybody encouraged. And so, this isn't like the Facebook version of, my vacation that everyone thinks my life is perfect. I don't want you to get that idea, but we did have a storm over the weekend in our main market, which we are very embedded in. We're very connected in the community. We spent years and years here cultivating and farming. And so, we've gotten a record number of calls today for a single event, which is awesome. So that's an incredible encouragement for this week because, the last 2 to 3 weeks specifically have, been kind of hard to look at the numbers going these last few weeks because we have definitely experienced, a drop in new deals being signed. And so it's very encouraging right now. We were pulling out of it anyway, but, I measure everything, very closely. So I was kind of acutely aware of our drop in new business and trying to do everything we could do to mitigate that and at least stay towards a baseline. This is the time of year we should be experiencing a big peak based on all of our other years. And I was hoping to just maybe maintain our baseline average through March, through the season instead of having our peak. But we're going to go up some now. So that's great news. Great news.
Wow. Yeah, definitely the entrepreneurial roller coaster, right? It can go day to day and hour by hour, sometimes minute by minute.
100%. So true.
Yeah. So that being said, like kind of that mindset roller coaster, obviously there's a lot of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of like people don't know what's going on. What have been some of your strategies personally and on the company side, AVCO Roofing, to keep everyone positive and encouraged and have that abundance mindset?
Right. I would say the first key to getting through a time like this is to not let stress or worry burden you to the point where you're either so discouraged you can't get anything done or to the point where it fools you into thinking you're getting a lot of stuff done. People kind of go to either end of the spectrum. They kind of either freeze up and don't do anything, or internally you just measure yourself by your stress level as far as your productivity goes. And so when you've been doing that for a long time, stress increases and you automatically think you feel like your output is increasing when in reality it might not. And so don't measure yourself by your stress level. Pull yourself out of that stuff and make a list of steps that you need to take today. Sometimes I have to write down things that I need to accomplish in the next hour. Otherwise I'll get distracted. I'll get discouraged. I'll find something else to do and then I won't get that thing done. And so for me, when I start to feel that stress, I want to make a list of things that I can get done, start checking them off the list, get my nose into some work, and I'll feel like the stress will let up. Because I'm actually accomplishing something. I'm taking hold of the wheel and pushing down on the gas pedal, getting somewhere, rather than just sitting there feeling like, I've got all this stress. So don't get fooled by that. Make a list and, punch some stuff out.
Yeah, I love that. Action cures anxiety, right? We've all got these things,
Yeah.
regardless of this situation or as a leader, any point in our business or our life. That's so
Yeah.
true. And yeah, I always operate from a list here in my little book here. I always have it with
Yeah.
me. And then a lot of times, like after lunch, because we all want to accomplish a million things in every day. After lunch, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, I know I have 4 hours until I'm done. So like,
Mm-hmm.
what are the things that need to get done, and try to get
Right.
those big rocks done, not necessarily putting out fires, because
Yeah.
that doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah. For me, my best ideas come early morning and late night. And so I've always got pens and pads sitting around in my bathroom, sitting around my bed, on my nightstand, so that if I'm like shaving or whatever, I don't shave much, but if I'm getting ready in the morning and I have an idea, I write it down immediately, because for creatives, if you're a problem solver and a creative, you'll actually burden yourself sometimes by coming up with so many solutions that you can't track very well, and then you don't take any action on. That'll actually exhaust you, and it'll teach your brain over time not to come up with new creative ideas, because it's just one more thing for you to have to track, and feel like you're not getting done. You end up kind of feeling like a failure when you have all these great ideas and you don't take any action. Like I said, you really just teach yourself to stop being creative. And so for me, I have to write those things down like right away, so that I don't have to, my brain doesn't have the worry of, oh, don't forget this, don't forget this, don't forget this.
Yep.
I write it down, and then I can be free to ideate around it, or ideate about something else, or just let that go for a minute. Knowing that, I'm not going to forget it. I'm not going to lose it. But I kind of want to encourage people right now to see the opportunity in the moment. If your stress level and workload and difficulty of getting your job done has increased by 40%, over the last few weeks, I would encourage you, because 6 out of 10 people in your category of people that are just like you aren't doing anything right now. They're just waiting. They're just waiting to see what the market's going to do. They're just doing the customers that they've already got in their pipeline. They don't want to spend any money. They don't want to work any extra hours. They're unsure of the market. They're just waiting around. So even if your workload is harder and you're not getting as far for each amount of effort you're putting out right now, you're still getting way ahead of your competition. If you're just judging yourself by where you think you should be based on this time last year, or where you should be based on your plans that you had at the beginning of this month or the beginning of the month before that, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. It's not great to compare yourself to others all the time, but this is a scenario where if you're out there working hard, I feel like you can know confidently that you're getting way ahead of your competition, because most of them are just waiting this out.
Yep. As soon as this thing happened, I kind of just did a little reflection. I'm like, well, this is a time to go on offense. This is not a time for defense.
Yeah.
It's a time to go on offense,
Totally.
to double down on discipline. To your point about writing things down, like having that discipline that creates freedom. Jocko Willink from Extreme Ownership, discipline
Yep.
equals freedom. So yeah, doubling down on that. And I'm a big fan of doing the fundamentals consistently every day.
Right.
And that's going to lead to those breakthroughs. So on that note, on the marketing side, I know you guys have obviously built an awesome brand at AVCO, one of the leading, most recognized brands in the roofing industry, I would say.
Thanks, brother.
And I've heard you talk about the fact that you don't spend, or traditionally haven't spent, any money on marketing. And
Yeah.
I'd like to touch on that, because especially these days, with canvassing and door knocking being heavily impacted, a lot of people are like, all right, like, where's that magic Facebook funnel? Like, what do I buy? Like, what do I
Yeah.
like, how much do I have to spend? And I'm like, our clients, whether they do 20 million or 2 million a year or 60 million a year, they're the ones that do really well with social are the ones that are consistent organically without paying, like building that brand. And then, if they want to amplify an offer or a message, or after a storm, then yeah, they'll throw some money on ads, but it's mostly an organic situation. Right. So what's been your kind of strategy, without giving away any trade secrets?
No, it's fine. For us, like you said, I just never found any ROI that was exciting on traditional marketing methods for the roofing industry, whether that's, buying leads from telemarketers, or, dumping a ton of money into your SEO without having, a big presence around it already and stuff like that. I just never found anything that really, that I could spend $10,000 on that was going to get me $100,000. not in business, that's not hard to find. That's where people don't know their numbers. It's not hard to spend 10 grand and get $100,000 in business, but you spend all the money you were going to make on that money on the marketing to get that business. So you're really not going anywhere, you know? So if you're going to experience a real ROI on stuff, you got to be able to spend 1,000 or 10,000 and get in $1 million in business. If you want to really get ROI that turns into a system that you can just unlimited put money in, and you know that your money is going to grow in that funnel and come back out a lot bigger. I just haven't been able to find it. I'm sure some other people have experienced different results. I'm not criticizing anybody else's business model out there, but for us, having a social presence that is driven by organic was the only thing that I saw that was valuable, that created a real ROI. And so instead of traditional marketing, the only money for the last couple of years that I've spent on it is I have a full-time guy that does my social stuff. He works in our office. He's got camera gear. He goes to jobs. He films the jobs. He films interviews with the homeowners. He films us as owners and management team at different events and stuff like that. And he just pumps that stuff out there. And it's a slow trickle, 1 or 2 posts a week of something that's valuable or entertaining for people. And then we do giveaways here and there. And I think the last time I looked, I think we're 6,000 or 7,000 people liked our roofing company, and it's a very active page. When we put up an interesting post, within an hour, we always have 1,000 engagements, within an hour of us putting something up there, because we're always putting quality content. People won't pay attention to it. Other businesses follow it because we put good business stuff out there. It's entertaining for some people too. We put a lot of time and effort in building that. And so then when we want to do some paid ads around it, it's really supported by a large organic presence, and it can be really powerful. And so right now we're spending more money. I guess if you were to look at it a day-to-day spend, we're spending, probably 25 or 30 times our regular spend for anything towards Facebook or social, because of the season we're in, us not being able to knock doors the way that we normally do. But if I hadn't spent this last really 3 years really building that Facebook page, those ads wouldn't be nearly as powerful as they are. So there's not really a shortcut. And so when people think about their marketing, if they don't know what they're doing, they really got to find somebody like you that can help them, see the bigger picture and understand that it is a long game. It's not a short game. There is no short game towards a powerful marketing presence in this day and age. It just does not happen. Especially if you want to do it where it doesn't cost you $1 million a month. You got to put in the time and reap the rewards of, a long built reputation.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so key. And I love that people are hearing it from someone other than a marketing guy. They're hearing it from a roofing company owner. And it's so true. But like without that foundation, it's like running some random ads and things like that. That worked a few years ago, and we did it for clients in Texas. And it's just things have evolved. There's so many roofing companies in every market. There's so much more noise on social media and in our world in general. So it's really got to be that organic situation where you're having videos and sharing your stories and everything like that. We happen to have the guys from ASAP Roofing on live last week, which I think are on Tyler as well, right?
Yep.
And similar situation. I don't really know them that well, but very similar thing with a lot of organic, a little bit of paid, but without that organic foundation, their paid stuff would never work anyway. So that's the secret, everyone, for listening. That is the marketing secrets. But the best time to start the best time to start is today. So, just spend some time. A lot of people have a little bit more time on their hands than usual. Spend some time to learn this stuff and really put in a system. Get someone on your team in your company to help you out if you're an owner, because as an owner, it's not going to be something that gets done consistently. It's all on you. Same thing here. Me as an owner, we have a team to help us out with this. So it does take some buy-in from your team for sure.
Yeah, totally.
So that's great to hear, man. I love that perspective. And I know that you're running several businesses, so I don't want to hold you up too much here. Anything else just like encouraging for the industry or anyone else watching this, like how to just keep momentum going and connect with your market and stay positive all throughout this?
Yeah, I would say one thing that I often end up encouraging roofing company owners in when they call me and they try to ask questions about how to move their business forward. I think it sounds really cliche, but if you're really good at being yourself, then you're really not going to be in competition with anybody. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about what their secret is or how they got ahead. Do the thing that you like doing. Be willing to put in the hard work and represent yourself to your customers as best you can. And you'll never get every customer. It does not matter who you are. The best roofer in the world with the best face and the best marketing pitch is not going to sign every customer. So don't worry about trying to be what everybody else is. Just be the company that you want to be. You know, if you're an owner, the culture starts with you and it flows down. Be the person that you are. Don't worry about trying to be like anybody else. You know, if there's some other roofing company you really like and you really follow, you know, sure, gain inspiration, but don't try to mimic them. Just do it the way you feel like, you know, in your heart and your mind, you should do it. And you're going to draw people to yourself that are similar to you, and you guys are going to make your own culture, and you're going to find customers that like you, and you're going to find plenty of customers that don't like you. And that's fine. You don't have to adjust everything you're doing every time you come across a customer that doesn't like you, because, you know, you'll never stop adjusting. You know, be yourself, create your own culture, do it the way you like doing it. Of course, that all is built, I guess, on a assumed foundation of good character. You know, do the right thing always. But when it comes to the style of the way you do it, yeah, do it however you want. If you're loud and proud, or you ride the veteran, you know, motorcycle down the street, you know, with all your flags hanging off, whatever, do whatever it is you do, just the way you want to do it. There are going to be people that like you, and there will be people that don't. So don't worry about that. That's my encouragement.
Love that. And I talk about a similar thing a lot because there's so much competition in every market. And the fastest, most direct way to stand out and differentiate is to show off your personality and your company's culture. And right now, the most effective way to do that is on video. So get out of your comfort zone and get out there. That's a big part of it.
Totally agree. I made some of my managers do that last week. Made them do live videos. I said, it has to be done today. I need to see a live video of you today on a roof in the field talking about the job you're doing. Not tomorrow, today.
Nice. Nice. We do that with our clients. We're not that hard on them, but we try to keep them, accountable to getting those videos out. So, all right, Heath, I'll let you get back in the office. I really appreciate the time. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, you too, man. All right. Have a good one. All right. Take care.